Hi traders, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to sunny, beautiful, and windy Florida today. One of the questions I get a lot, and it usually comes in different forms, is, hey Mike, is it different to trade a large account versus trading a smaller account? Now, how we define a large account varies. I mean, you can get a hedge fund trader on Wall Street saying a large account, the conversation starts at 9 figures. But let's use the example of a larger account, say a 50,000 or 100 or 100,000 and up, versus say that small $5,000 to $10,000 account. Can you trade it similarly? In some cases, maybe not. But there are core principles that a small account holder can do exactly mimic the big boys. Let's go to the intro. Right after that, we'll go over some bullets so you can get started right away. All right, so let's get right to the question. Can a small account replicate that of a much larger account? Well, there are some limitations, particularly on product size. Notional value comes into play, so you can't be trading, 20 ES futures contracts or 200, like say a hedge fund player would do. But are there sort of core things that a small account trader can do that really replicates what the big boys are doing? The answer is absolutely yes. And it starts with the first principle: compliance. So what I'd like the small account holders to do is first and foremost, adhere to your plan. Exactly what the big boys are doing. In fact, quite honestly, I've looked at some of the audits on some of these big traders. They're not that perfect. All right. They have a lot of flexibility and they use it sometimes for their own detriment and against the policies and rules of the firm. So you're in a position where you have the opportunity to just trade by your rules, trade by your trading plan. Most important, you have better flexibility than the big boys. Make sure you adhere to that. Okay, so if you ever worked at a big firm, one of the things you'll know, and I know some hedge fund players are probably watching this saying, oh, Mike's right. The reporting is out of control. There's compliance, there's regulatory reporting, there's maybe certain one-pagers to investor pools. All right, as a small account holder, you don't have to worry about that. But what I'd like you to do is do your reporting to yourself, the audience of one. Treat your $5,000 or $10,000 account like it's $100,000 or $100 million hedge fund. All right. Do some basic reporting at the end of the month. Just do a summary and not just the results, what you did right, what you did wrong, what you're working on, almost as if you're just giving a summary to investors. And really the investor is you. All right. Next. Now, when you're trading for a big firm, really it's all about P&L. But when you're trading a small account, I know that P&L is important. But trade your account and do your reporting like it's your resume. The trades that you make during your small account time frame is not necessarily important about P&L. Yeah, sure, we all want it. But make those trades and make them compliant as if you're building your resume. So then after 6 months or 9 months or a year, you can say, you know what? I started out with a low compliance rate, but now I'm executing like a pro. Granted, maybe I'm only making $100 a week or having some rough weeks, but they're all within compliance, or at least you have a high compliance rate. And now you can take that to a prop firm or an investor, or at least have a conversation with others, traders, and say, you know what? I'm doing pretty good here. I just need more capital. And then you can go to the next steps. So really, really important. And this is done at the firm level all the time, but start to build your resume rather than your P&L. And next, what I'd like you to do, and this is what the big boys do too, especially when they go on the road, they go on these road shows to raise capital. They have these things called the one pager. Just a little bit about yourself, what your strategy is. You don't have to get detailed about your actual nuts and bolts of your strategy, but what just the approach you used to trading, your general returns, right? Report card, even some of the things you're working on. You're a developing trader with a small account, but you want to get to the point where you say, you know what I got going here isn't bad. I just need more capital. And now you could start talking it up. All right. Go to traders expos, meet people online, say, you know what? Just have a little chatter. Next thing you know, you may bump into someone and say, I like what you got here. And it's pretty cool stuff. Either maybe I can learn from you, or I have a friend who has some money. Maybe you can help him out. All right. This is how the seeds start to grow. So rather than doing it on a big production with tons of PowerPoints and minutia of sort of back testing and paperwork, just do a one-pager, explain a little bit about yourself and what your goals are. Understand that you may not be where you want to be. That's okay. You got to start somewhere. And having that one-pager will really come in handy. And next, while you're developing that small account, and the pros do it too. Start to invest in yourself. And I'm not talking about financial investment. That could be the case. But have a good mindset. Invest in the quality of your routines, things like that. Goes a long way. The big boys, yeah, they have trader psychologists on staff. Maybe we don't have that. But you can start building a better you, better personality, have the ability to articulate what your goals are. Right? Those will go a long way. They do that on the big prop side. But you know what? You are your own hedge fund. Start learning it now. All right, next, especially with a small account, you may be doing some things in demo, or maybe you have a live account, small, but you're doing other things in demo. All right, let's start tomorrow. And everyone in the YouTube community, start doing this. Start to treat demo as if your life depended on it. I don't want to hear any more about this. Well, I had a losing trade, but it was in demo, or I crushed it, but it was only in demo. Stop with the demo thing. All right. Treat it as if your life depended on it. Because if you can verify that your demo was legitimate and it was accurate and it was honest and you could be able to kind of put an audit stamp on it, it may start a different conversation, right? The demo isn't the garbage dump for losers. It's the opportunity to show another prospect, possibly a prospect with money, who may be interested and say, okay, I know it's only demo, but maybe I'm willing to hear a little more if you have it nice and credible and part of your one pager. Okay, so when we're starting out, especially with a small account, we do take a lot of lumps. We make a lot of mistakes, but it's okay. The most valuable mistake you can make is one that you learn from. All right, I'll leave a quote up here from Derek Jeter, New York Yankees captain, right, 5-time World Series champion, talks about failure and how important it was for him to succeed. Pretty interesting stuff. He also talks about in his speech how he made like his rookie year, something like 50 errors or something. I mean, I watched him in his rookie year. I don't remember him making that many errors, but you know what? Apparently he did. But it was the seed of his success. So make the mistakes, but document them and show a potential future investor in your resume that you learned from them. That's the most important, valuable thing. Not about that extra $50 in P&L. Really, it means nothing. Okay, small traders, I hope you got a little confidence in my little words of wisdom talk today. Click on the link below. I'll give you some more in-depth information about this compliance thing and how we measure it, and even how the big boys measure it, and how you can apply it to your trading, even for small accounts. Also in the show notes, I'll leave the link for that Derek Jeter speech that he gave regarding failure. Really, really impressive. All right, hope you got something out of this. Small account holders, be confident, stay strong. You'll get there. Don't quit. Don't quit. All right. We'll see you next time.